Ladies and gentlemen, we finally done it. As of 6:24 p.m. EST local time yesterday, we were finally given the go-ahead to remove our clown outfits as Final Fantasy 16, the second trailer, was shown off at State of Play, and my god, was it a trailer. It was pretty fucking good. It was excellent. But one thing that I really wanted to focus on today, and I know there's going to be a lot of breakdowns and stuff like that for the entire trailer, but what I'm really focused on, and really what's going to make or break it when it comes to certain Final Fantasy games, is going to be the party mechanics as well as the battle engine. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is taking a look at all the battle cutscenes that they showed off in the trailer yesterday, and kind of, drawing some hypothesis and seeing exactly where they're drawing some of their inspiration from. It's well known that, this game's battle director came from DMC5, so a lot of inspiration's pretty clear. It's a one-to-one comparison there, but I just want to dissect and see what we can kind of expect with some of the summons and stuff like that. So that'll be the purpose of today's video. As always, guys, if you are new here, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll have a lot of Final Fantasy 16 content on this channel. I'm definitely looking forward to that game, but let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's take a look at the actual trailer and some of the battle. So let's start here. So what I want to do is take a look at all the battle sequences that take place within the trailer. I know that the previous trailer did show some aspects of the battle engine and stuff like that, but I think this is definitely our clearest view of it so far. So just to take a look at this, top left hand corner, we have some hit points, 1400 right there, and this actually looks more like a fighting game than anything else. I come from a fighting game background, so that's the first thing that struck me. Is like, yo, dude, this looks like a 1v1 like actual fighting game. In the top left hand corner, it looks like we have options to switch between the different types of I don't know what they're going to be called, dominant, summons, whatever. So it looks like he has Phoenix and Garuda. So I'm interested, does that mean, can he actually like channel this power, or is he summoning them, or how exactly is that working? But I'm thinking, from what I've seen so far, and this is just all kind of speculation, is that in lieu of having party members, you'll just have all of the summons and you can kind of just cycle through them. So let's take a look at this. We'll throw this in slow mo so we can kind of see this standard battle right here. And this just looks like standard fare, right? That looked a bit more like a cutscene, like a play-by-play cutscene. It didn't really look like he was doing too much there. It looked pretty straightforward. So let's jump ahead to the next scene. So this is battle as well. So let's take a look at this, all right? So taking a look at this looks more than anything else. This looks like Stranger Paradise. That's all this looks like. And I know that's definitely not one-to-one comparison, but as a game that just came out like this, if you look at the menus in the bottom left-hand corner and in the bottom right-hand corner, I'll do a side-by-side comparison, but it definitely harkens back to that. I'm sure by the time we get the finished product in our hand, it's going to be pretty different, but in regards to just straight up Final Fantasy, going through all the Legacy 1, 7, 5, all that, this definitely is probably closest to, I talked to one of my friends, probably closest to like Lightning Returns, but it definitely just looks like you have one character, right? I'm not even sure how this would be set up for you to have multiple characters, unless you swap them out like a remake. They're there and you can just kind of cycle through them. I really hope that they take that approach, because this really just looks like a action RPG, you know what I mean? And that's fine, but I'm not entirely sure that's what most people are looking for when it comes to the world of Final Fantasy. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a change of pace, and that's one thing that they're known for, is definitely pushing the envelope. They never do the same thing twice, and they're always evolving on it. So I have some faith. So let's jump ahead to the next combat section here. At the next combat section here, so where we see some aerial stuff going on. Now, the producer for this, it did come from Devil May Cry and a lot of Capcom series, so you can see that's just very flare, very flashy and stuff like that. The aerial combat has come a long way since stuff like this. It doesn't look as janky as Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Final Fantasy 13 or something like that. The aerial combat in that always just looked unnatural, to say the least. So this looks pretty fluid, right? And again, we see the potions in the bottom left hand corner, the tonics and stuff like that. We see some bars up there. We do see more different types of dominance and summons that he can alter and switch between in the top left hand corner. Looks like he's acquired Titan here, so Titan, Phoenix, and Garuda here. So I'm really curious to see, is he just utilizing their abilities? It looks like that. If you look at the fist that he has there, is that the fist of Titan that he's utilizing there? And when you think of it like that, that kind of frames it way more like a Devil May Cry than anything else, right? You're utilizing like the aspects of the different types of summons. Very interesting, right? So let's move on. Let's take a look at some of the rest of the summons. It definitely does look very open world-ish, just looking at that right there. This looks good. And Looks like we do have, of course, the return of the stagger gauge. The stagger system, I think, is pretty good. I like the way that they've kind of evolved it as the series has progressed, you know, from Final Fantasy 13 to Remake and everything like that. The stagger gauge is actually pretty cool. I like the different things that they keep doing with it. And in the top left-hand corner, it looks like we have a different type of option there as well. We have Odin in the top left-hand corner, Odin, Shiva, and Ramuh. So this is, it looks like definitely that's going to be the key behind all of your abilities, right? And we see here in the bottom right hand corner, he has Arm of Darkness, Heaven's Cloud, Gungnir, and Jump. And you know, this definitely reminds me so much of Stranger of Paradise. And let me know down in the comments what this looks like to you. But this definitely looks way more like an, you know, open world action RPG. And the Scythe, that all looks pretty good. This guy's getting some ass. Let's jump ahead. Next section. So taking a look here, he's utilizing Shiva's ability against Kurl. And again, this looks pretty good, but you know, I don't see how this can open up to having a full party, you know, unless you have, I think that this game is going to be more along the lines of you have different sections that you have, like people that you have to go through. Like, so say the main section, you have the main character and stuff like that, then it swaps over to another and stuff, different POVs. But I don't think this is going to be a game where you actually have a party at any given time. And I'm not entirely sure how most people feel about that. That's one aspect that I've always really liked about Final Fantasy as well. So the combat looks good. Don't get me wrong. It definitely looks good. But depending on what you're looking for out of a Final Fantasy, it could be potentially cause for concern. Like, look at this. Another 1v1 cutscene. That looks good. The game looks gorgeous. Like, this is definitely one of the best trailers that we've ever seen. This is another area that definitely is this is definitely probably the hypest moment in the entire trailer. So when they have the summons fighting each other, specifically Bahamut and Odin here in a moment, but they have Phoenix going up against Ifrit. You see again the bars up there. So I'm wondering, you know, is this something that we are going to be controlling one aspect of the dominance here? You know, what exactly is going to be going on? You see that there's hit points right there. So it looks like there's definitely, you know, personal stakes in the battle, or we're controlling it or something like that. And even if you just look here, let's pause right here. So we have Shiva performing Diamond Dust here, but then we have our character's health bar here in the top left hand corner. So I'm not sure if that was actually being performed on us. Let's take a look at that one more time, because that's not the summon that looks like he has Phoenix active right there, and it says Liquid Flame. So I wonder if we're actually fighting Shiva here. So it looks like there's definitely going to be different aspects when it comes to battle, right? One of the main things, it definitely looks like there's going to be these huge, major battles. And some of this actually reminds me a bit like Final Fantasy IX, Bahamut versus Alexander. Those big, grand, epic scale battles, but it looks like we're going to actually be in the middle of them. And just stuff like this, you know, like Garuda versus Ifrit. Some of these battles, you know, I'm wondering how they're going to actually adjust this POV, you know, to have the player actually have some type of control and autonomy going on here. But this battle right here looks absolutely insane, and I'm really glad that there's such a primary focus on the summons for this round. I know sometimes it feels like some of the summons and stuff like that get kind of benched for some of the storylines and stuff like that, but it looks like they're fully leaning into that, and I can't be, you know, happy enough about that. And that'll do it for today's video, guys. I appreciate you guys checking it out. Let me know what you think down in the comments about the battle engine. Is this something that you're kind of you like this, or is it something where you don't really like this jarring change of pace? Because, you know, as far as like some of the legacy players for Final Fantasy, you know, going from a full party, you know, from 4 or 5 characters down to 3 characters, and now we essentially looking like we only have 1 character, that might be a huge turnoff for some people. I'm always open and, you know, flexible. I want them to keep experimenting. I never want them to keep doing the same thing twice, and they seem convinced to never do that. So, you know, it's all good for me. But if you appreciate this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. LC signing out. See you next time. Peace.